I'm Ashley, and welcome to another day in the life of an artist. My first stop of the morning was to go out to the 1920s house that we're renovating. This is our third early 1900s farmhouse that we've saved and restored within the city limits of Bryson City. This is an old picture from the 1930s that I found, and zooming in, you can see the Pine Cottage, which is what we're calling it, in the center. This project has been moving pretty fast, and we've been making lots of progress, and I'm excited to start putting everything back together soon. I'm trying to reuse some of the furniture from the house, so I had already taken apart these dressers to repaint and had applied some liquid sander the day before. This is a bag of calcium carbonate, and I use it to turn regular latex paint into chalk paint. I prefer chalk paint when painting furniture because it has great adhesion and it's less likely to peel or chip. I usually will use 1 quart of latex paint to make 2 containers of chalk paint. I add 1 cup of the powder to each container and mix about a half to a full cup of warm water into the powder until it has the consistency of a thick soup. Then I add an equal amount of latex paint into each container and stir until mixed. I'll be honest, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about color samples. I get way too impatient, so I just picked this greenish gray and cross my fingers that it would work out, and if it looks horrendous, I'll stop painting and pick another color. As always, I was listening to an audiobook during this project, Loving Frank, which is the story of Frank Lloyd Wright and his affair with Mamah Borthwick, and how it was sensationalized in the papers. It's a story that ends tragically, and even though I knew the outcome already, I was not ready for it. I definitely shed a few tears and continued painting. I finished the book and was still on a Frank Lloyd Wright kick, so I immediately downloaded another biography about him. I think the color is going to be okay. It's called Rose Pine by Benjamin Moore, and I think it goes well with the Swiss coffee walls and the natural tan trim already in the house. We live in a really small town, and this was the day of the high school senior walk, so I rushed downtown to see the senior class walk down Main Street. It was bittersweet because my daughter's also graduating this year, but she transferred from our local high school to the North Carolina School of Science and Math for her junior and senior year. After the senior walk, I went back home to pick up Wookie so that I could take her to the store, and she was definitely excited because I think she thought that I had left her. The other big news in town right now is that we got a new stoplight at an intersection, and it's been taking a little bit of getting used to. It's also a big source of discussion on the local Facebook pages. I don't know about you, but a lot of my day revolves around what's for lunch, and after I dropped Wookie off, I walked down to the bakery to see what they still had available. The tiramisu is definitely my favorite, and I usually get one and it'll last me about 3 days. I stepped into the kitchen to say hi to the baking crew, and they gave me some bagels to take home. Then at the food truck, I ran into my husband. Back at the store, I had a strobing light that was driving me nuts, so before I could eat my lunch, I had to get the ladder out to replace a light bulb. As I ate my lunch, I started thinking about everything on my to-do list for the new farmhouse. I'll mention here that I do have ADHD and I get distracted very easily, and suddenly I found myself at the hardware store purchasing caulk. Looking back, my thought process always makes complete sense to me. If I could get a wall caulked early in the day, it would be dry by the evening for me to paint over. So then I ended up at the farmhouse, and I always think every project is just going to be a 10-minute thing, but then other things come up. For example, this time I realized that the tree guy had shown up and I couldn't leave the house because I had to wait until they were done dropping the top of the tree. After all the chainsawing stopped, I was able to get down the walk. Our friend Nathan is our tree guy, and he's probably cut down over 100 trees for us over the years. Once I had to help stop traffic for a job because he was short-staffed, and I think my heart rate got up to about 160. Being a traffic control flagger is not for the faint of heart. Then I finally headed back to work. There were so many Mini Coopers in town for a Tail of the Dragon meetup. This fire truck themed Mini was parked in front of my store and even had a fake Dalmatian in the back seat. Finally back in the store, I worked here and there on some tiny paintings and checked out customers. I ended up selling a large painting, so that was a nice addition to the day, and I wrapped that up for them. If I'm super distracted or even just mentally exhausted, I like to turn to these small works. I can sit and listen to an audiobook or interact with customers and create all at the same time. Working on multiple small works all at once just for the sake of creating is a great way to clear the mind. And sometimes these small works end up sparking ideas for larger paintings and sometimes even future series. That's Hulu on my laptop. I totally got sucked into listening to Good American Family while painting. And I can't believe it's based on a true story. That family completely abandoned an 8-year-old. I started wrapping up the store for the day, and my husband always jokes that my business plan should always include actually being in my store and studio working, because sometimes I am all over the place. I do have more regular hours on the weekends and in the summer when town is constantly busy. It is nice right now, though, that I do have the flexibility to leave the store and work on other projects. I did stop at the Pine Cottage on the way home, and lightning and heavy rain had run Nathan off for the day from the tree cutting. One of the big to-do items on my list for the new house was to measure and order window coverings for all of the windows. The easiest way to do that was to bring my tape measure and laptop and just order as I went from window to window. I guess you'll get to see my final picks and installation in another video, but so far I've settled on a mix of cafe-style curtains and old roller-style shades. Although I'm not entirely sure how to hang them in this room yet because the room is slanted an inch from side to side. The exterior of the house is shaping up nicely and it's almost completely repainted. I'm not even sure how I'm going to attempt to have window coverings for the enormous picture window, but I finally headed home, dodging all the obstacles and mud. If you remember from some of my earlier videos, our spring has been really dry and we've dealt with a lot of wildfires in the area, so all of this rain has been pretty welcome. I feel like all of these flowers have just appeared in our yard and my poor garden is already out of control with weeds. Just a quick hello to the chickens before heading inside, and as always, thanks for watching my videos. It's been kind of an all over the place day, but I'll check in again soon.